let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab the gears, let's gather round. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling means for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via One Radio's Facebook page and the YouTube channel. And welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on One Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Department of Education, and I am here with you to share opportunities, activities, events, anything that we can to help to further develop our students. And of course, this Saturday is no different. But well, a little bit different actually. It's the third Saturday of the month, and on the third Saturday of the month we break at the bottom of the hour at 9:30, where we introduce the ECCB Children's Connection. And of course we have I will be here with you as your host, and we have our co-host Ajane coming in at 9:30 to join us for ECCB Children's Connection. And so of course this term I think has evolved into something that most people like. We have had a hiatus, long break. It feels like a long break from what seemed normal. And over the past few weeks, we have had the opportunity to have our various sports meets at our schools. We are on the home stretch. We're wrapping up. But I can tell you the enthusiasm and the excitement which has been in the air is immeasurable. Our parents and the community have come out to support the students, to support the schools in their numbers, and we want to, at the top of the show, thank all of you for your contributions. I want to say a special good morning and commendations to our school leaders, principals, their management teams, the coaches at the schools who are working, and you know, for us to be able to have any meet, our coaches and our sports committees have to do a lot of behind the scenes work, not only preparing the athletes but actually preparing the event. And so I want to commend all of the stakeholders who have been contributing to ensuring that we were able to have our sports meets at our various schools thus far. I want to also say commendations to the Ministry of Education's maintenance team. They have also been doing a lot of the heavy lifting and the logistics behind the scenes so that we can have the sports meets as we have seen them in the past few weeks. And it would be remiss of me if I didn't say good morning and shout out to our crossing guards and security officers who have been working, also ensuring that we have everything in place, that they're at the gates, that we have the flow that we need. Kudos to you, to all of you, for a job well done. Know that you are appreciated. And of course, I do not want to leave out our bus drivers and our the cleaning team from the Ministry of the Department of Sports. The Department of Sports team has been there ensuring that we have our restrooms cleaned and restocked throughout the sports meets. And so, as I said, many persons behind the scenes, we as persons who are spectators, we're not able to see all of that. We're able to enjoy, of course, the fruits of their labor. And so commendations to all of you. Job well done. So that was an important bit of information to share right at the top of the hour, knowing that we have so much happening behind the scenes. All right. And of course, I want to commend all of the various houses, the teams that have been victorious, and every single athlete who has put forward, and non-athletes. I don't know if there's such a thing as an athlete. Many persons try to run. Some people might label you as athletes, some might label you as non-athletes. But for everyone who gave the attempt for Sports Day, commendations to all of you once again for a job well done. So we had Charlestown Primary on Wednesday, and we had the winning team being Blue House, and I know she's not due to come onto the show just quite yet, but since she's already in the studio, I want to say good morning to the Blue House captain at Charlestown Primary. I want to know why she doesn't have on her blue today. But the Blue House won the meet at Charlestown Primary, and Ajerne was their house captain as well, right there supporting alongside and modeling the leadership right there with her Blue House team. And then, of course, on Thursday we had our first high school meet, Gingerland Secondary, and yesterday we ended the week with the VOJ and primaries meet, and I want to say congratulations to all of the students who participated as well, and to ensure that your various houses were able to be victorious. So, house captain, I want to give you a 30-second clip, just a chance to say commendations and everything to your Blue House team and to all participants.
Well, good morning everyone, and I want to just give a shout out to Blue House. I know a few of the athletes who ran in red and green. They weren't feeling quite well, so I want to say congratulations and good job for going out there and doing your best, because you still got silver and gold even when you weren't feeling good. But congratulations, Blue House. We showed them what we were capable of. They were all showing off on us, so we just showed them what we are capable of.
All right, thank you, Miss Captain, and of course, as I said, that is just and I like the fact that you commended the other athletes who gave their best. That was extremely good sportsmanship. And so, and at Gingerland Secondary, we had Greenhouse leading the way. During this season that we've seen, and we know that there has been a hiatus, as I said. So for some athletes who were very strong athletes 2 years ago, the COVID has caused a little bit of a weight gain situation happening, and so they might not be as in top form as they were previously, but they still gave their best. And so we saw that at all levels, but we saw instances where students had to run multiple legs and that kind of thing during relays, and they did so with distinction. And so I want to also say good morning to the Greenhouse team at Gingerland Secondary for cupping the first place spot, and of course red and blue followed right after them. So congratulations to Greenhouse for job well done. And so listeners, we know that sports are sports is back. That's the hashtag that they're using. And so many persons are saying that, but our sports meets are on the go. They've been going very well, and we have just a few more to go. We have coming up the Nevis Academy Sports Meet will take place this Tuesday, March 22nd. We'll see Nevis Academy having their meet at the Nevis Athletic Stadium, and their meet will start at 1 p.m. Then on the 29th, the following Tuesday, we'll see Maud Cross Prep, and they'll have their meet at 12 noon. And then on the 27th, we'll have the culmination of the primary school meets with the 2020 edition of the Golf Insurance Inter-Primary Championships, and that was announced during it was announced on Wednesday, and Junior Minister Liebert also made a special announcement during the intermission at the Charlestown Primary School Sports Meet. And so 27th of March, April 27th of April, save the date, we will have the Golf Insurance Inter-Primary Championships. And then to end that week out and to close out our sports season here on Nevis, the Charlestown Secondary School will have their sports meet on April 29th at the Nevis Athletic Stadium. So for the rest of the meets, we're going to be all roads lead to the Nevis Athletic Stadium, where we will see our season closing out. We want to thank all of our listeners once again who have contributed, and of course, if you're not listening, and just know and you can share with those persons that we appreciate all of their input towards the success of this edition of the 2022 edition of the track and field season. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now it passes quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather round. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Department of Education, and it is the third Saturday of the month, which means at 9:30 we will transition into ECCB's Children Connection, and so we will have that happening just in a few. But before that, there are so many exciting opportunities out there for our students to participate in, and I wanted to make sure that you are aware so that you can get your children enrolled, allow them to participate in the various activities which are happening. We have some competitions open currently. We have some events coming up. So many things that will be happening in the next few weeks, especially for our young people. So we have the Ministry of Entrepreneurship, Entertainment and Talent Development will be celebrating the Month of the Arts from March to May 2022, and they will have several competitions. They have something for everybody interested in the various art forms. So we have a poetry competition, verse to verse, the story of our people. And that competition, the rules must be the entrant's original work. The poetry entries must be at least 10, but cannot exceed 30 lines. They do not use texting lingo. Proper spelling of all words and numbers should be displayed. Do not include your name or any other information at the end of your poem. The poem can be written in any poetic style and follow any number of themes, excluding erotica. Poems must be submitted in PDF form, must not have been previously published or made public. And if wonderful prizes to be won, winners will be featured in the poetry book publication. And of course the deadline for the poetry competition is April 15th, so we have a few weeks to work on it, and the announcement of the winners will be done on May 14th, 2022. By entering the competition, persons agree to have their work compiled and published. And of course, for more information on any of these competitions, feel free to reach out to Mrs. Keisha Isaac Adams at moent.creativessector@gov.kn. And of course you can follow them on Facebook and Instagram as well. Handle MOENTSKN. The categories for the poetry competition: ages 8 to 17 and then 18 to 30. So that's the first competition. The second competition is the cover art competition, and this is for an art competition for the cover of the storybook and the poetry cover. Maybe I should take that one last. Let me do the story writing competition and come back to the cover. So we have the poetry competition. We also have a story writing competition, and it's stories of our islands. It must be the entrant's original work. Stories must be no less than 500 and no more than 1,000 words. Stories must be typed, double-spaced in a readable 12-point font. Stories must not have been published or made public. Stories must be submitted in PDF form, written in any genre and follow any number of themes excluding erotica. And our categories, ages 8 to 17 and ages 18 to 30. Wonderful prizes to be won. Winners will be featured in the poetry, the book publication as well. And deadline is the same, April 15th, with the announcement of the winners on May 14th. And so those are the two competitions, and then there's a cover art, and what you're expected to do is to design the cover of the poetry book and the storybook. Storybook cover is Stories of Our Islands, and the poetry book cover is The Story of Our People. And the rules must be the entrance original work. Design must be original to the artist. Designs must be hand created. Designs must include the book title. Cover art must be submitted in JPEG or PNG or TIFF. Art must not have been published or made public. And wonderful prizes to be won. Winners will be featured on the poetry and story writing publications. And of course, same categories, 8 to 17 and 18 to 30. So, as I said, very interesting opportunities for our listeners and young people, students. Make sure that you access those, that you participate, so that you can take advantage of these opportunities. They're far few and in between, but they are wonderful opportunities for our students. We also know that the Department of Youth has some activities coming up because it's Youth Month in Nevis. April is Youth Month in Nevis, so we wanted to ensure that our students are aware of what's happening. We have Green Camp. That's one of the activities coming very shortly. We have Green Camp coming up, and so we want you parents to reach out and to the Department of Youth and get the information on the Green Camp. We also have the openings for the Youth Impact 12. That's also one of the activities coming up. So we have the Youth Impact 12 open currently. We have a catamaran cruise. The catamaran cruise will take place. We'll sail along the southeast peninsula, and this is for our older young people. The theme for Youth Month, by the way, is What's New? A Green, Clean Youth Month 2022. And so the catamaran cruise is scheduled to take place on April 9th. The admission, of course, $120. And so we encourage you, young people who are interested, go on out, support, ensure that you're part of it. We also have the Save the Earth Remix Challenge, and so that's part of Youth Month as well. And so young people who are, especially those interested in the arts, are asked to download the Save the Earth instrumental and compose an original verse on it. Record a video of yourself singing or rapping your verse. Lyrical content must be clean, concise, and speak to the environmental preservation and climate change. Video submissions must be emailed to dept.youth@nia.gov.com. The winner gets a cash prize of $800 and a chance to remix the Save the Earth song. Compliments Big Tigger Productions. And the deadline is April 29th, 2022. All right, and then there's a Moonlight Walk, which is taking place on April 16th, 2022. The start time is 7:30 p.m. and it starts at Mansa's One Stop and ends at Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. And to register, just call the Department of Youth at 469-5521-6711. All right. And then, as I said, Camp Green takes place from April 11th to April 18th, 2022, and it caters to students ages 5 to 16, and it takes place at the ETW Park from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. The deadline for registration is March 28th, which is just about a week or so from now, so you have a short time, parents, and the fee is $30. Then we have, of course, the Youth Day of Prayer, April 2nd and 3rd. And we're asking, all churches are asked to designate those days to focus on praying for youth as well as the nation at large. So those are just a few of the activities being offered by the Department of Youth. We also have, through the Department of Sports, Nevis, and a collaborative effort with Swim to Win, we have the upcoming free, I said free, Easter swim camp. Free means you don't pay any money. So parents, children really need to learn to swim. We are making strides, especially we know that we had the conversation with Swim to Win a few weeks ago. We had some representatives here, and it's important for all of our students, all of our children to learn to swim. And of course, with the long-term goal of getting some Olympic swimmers as well incorporated there. So the swim camp, the free swim camp, takes place on April 19th, and it runs to April 22nd, and there are 2 time slots, 9 to 12 and 1:30 to 4:30. And so you select the time slot and you enroll. You have until April 8th to register your child to be part of this very important activity. So as I said, so many things happening. We also want to remind you that the scholarship opportunities are still open, those which have been announced over the past few weeks. They're still open. The UVI scholarship closes out on March 31st. The financial assistance for NIA closes out on March 31st as well. And then we have the University of Medicine and Health Sciences and Windsor University scholarships. Those are open, but you're encouraged to apply early, as well as the Ross University scholarship. So we have many opportunities out there. I did not even get to touch half of them this morning. For our young people, we'll continue sharing next week and reshare some of what was shared this week. But at this point, we're going to take a short break, and when we get back at 9:30, we will go straight into the ECCB Children's Connection.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now it passes quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab the gears, let's gather around, and adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
When VON vibrates, the whole Caribbean must shake.
860 AM, the powerhouse.
Connecting the children of our EC region with good information and excellent mentoring. They started us early and making it easy to manage our money and make a real living. They're linking the children with excellent mentoring.
Good morning to our radio listeners, and this is the ECCB's Children's Connection program. I am your host, Zahnela Claxton, and with me is our co-host,
Ajani Hodge. Good morning, everybody.
and you know, Ajani, we're always excited that our listeners made the time to join us. And today, we will be looking forward to talking to you, our listeners, about a fun topic that some of you may have discussed in your social studies classes. I think most of you may have discussed it in your social studies classes. We will be talking about goods and services. So get your pens, your pencils, your notebooks, and get ready. We'll be right back after our jingle.
Connecting the children of our EC region with good information and excellent mentoring. They started us early and making it easy to manage our money and make a real good living. They're linking the children with excellent mentoring.
CB's Children's Connection, a program produced by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. The lovely jingle that you just heard was written and composed by Dawn Mills, and she is the Corporate Relations Officer at the ECCB, and the jingle was performed by the children of the ECCB After School Program. Today we have a wonderful program. We'll be discussing goods and services. Ajerne, do you remember when we spoke about needs and wants all the way back in December?
Yes, I do.
All right. And do you remember that we said the difference between a need and a want was?
Yes, I remember.
All right. So share with our listeners what's the difference between a need and a want.
What I learned was that a need is something that you must have, and a want is something that you would like to have.
All right, awesome. So basically, a need is something you can't live without. You must have it.
It's essential.
Oh, I love that. That's a big word for today. Essential. It's essential. And while a want is something that you can live without, you can do without it. You'll be able to live and survive without it. So, Ajerne, can you give our listeners an example of a need and an example of a want?
Well, in kindergarten and grade 1, we learned about our basic needs, and that would be clothing, food, and having a good shelter over you. And we learned about wants. Wants would be like today electronics and wanting candy and stuff like that. Not food, but stuff that you would want to have. You might see a friend with an Uzi sauce, that kind of bottle that gives the sweet stuff out, and then you're gonna want money. Your mom might sit there and be like, "Mom, I need it," and she'd be like, "No, you don't need it, you want it."
Yes, the Uzi sauce. I've never heard about the Uzi sauce before, so Uzi sauce is definitely a want. All right, okay, awesome. So thank you so much for sharing that information with us, Ajerne, and all the Uzi sauce wanters out there. That's not a need, it's a want. But thank you so much. And that was a revision for you, boys and girls, and of course our other listeners. So, how do we get the things we need or want? Any ideas?
Well, you could go to the shop. You could order them online. And you could work for them as well.
Okay, good. All right, so you go to the shop, you order them online, which is like the shop online, and then of course you have to work to find some way to get what you need or want. And so we get the things that we need and want through buying or purchasing goods and services. A good is something people make or grow to sell. Okay? A good is something that people make or grow to sell. Ajerne, can you give us some examples of things that you think are goods?
Anything that is tangible is a good, such as fruits, vegetables, your phone, your tablet, microphones, clocks, remote controls.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So anything that like you said that is tangible, of course, is a good. So good. A good list that you shared with us of goods. Very commendable there, and I'm sure that our friends out there can think of so many others. So let's now take a look at services. So I'm going to share the definition of services with you, and based on the definition, let's see what you can come up with as possible examples. So services are jobs people do for others. Services are jobs that people do for others. For example, A doctor provides a service to his patients to help make sure that they are healthy. And a pilot flies a plane to take us where we want to go on a vacation. So, Ajane, what are some examples that you could think of services?
Well, hairdressers, barbers, radio hosts, teachers, judges, doctors, and much more people.
Oh, wonderful. So all of those persons, of course, provide a service. Those are some really, really good ones. Our listeners, of course, are out there thinking away. They put their thinking caps on. They're thinking away, and they're probably coming up with some other services as well. So can you explain to our friends how, for example, a teacher can provide a service?
Well, every day teachers wake up, they get ready, they go to school, and they feed us with memorable notes, memorable things that we need to learn about in order to live our daily lives when we get older. So that is one way they could be a service to us.
Wonderful. And teachers are everything else. They're doctors, nurses, and everything in between. Their service goes beyond. I had to put my plug in for our teachers listening out there. Okay, good example, Ajane. So now let's see if we can help boys and girls who are listening to understand the difference between goods and services a little bit better. I'm going to call out some examples, and you're going to tell us whether they're goods or services. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
All right. Books.
Goods.
Okay. Librarian.
Service.
Construction worker.
Services.
Apples.
Goods.
Car.
Goods.
Cookies.
Goods.
Nurse.
Services.
Pizza.
Goods.
Cashier at the supermarket.
Services.
Bus drivers.
Services.
Orange juice.
Goods.
Mechanics.
Services.
Awesome. Okay. Good job. Okay, so I'm sure that our listeners have a better idea. They can now differentiate between what a good is and what a service is. What we must remember is that everything we buy or pay for is either a good or a service. You probably noticed as well that a good is something that you can touch with your hands, and I think you said that earlier, Ajane, that a good is something that is tangible, and tangible just means you can touch it with your hands, you can feel it, right? Tangible means that you can pick it up, you can rub your hands over it, it's there, it's right there. Can you help to repeat that fancy word? We're all about words today, it seems, because we had essential, we had, and now we have tangible. So can you repeat the word loud and clear for our listeners?
Tangible.
Okay, and can you spell it out for all the listeners who've never heard about tangible but really want to know how to spell it because they're adding it as the word for the week?
Okay, tangible is spelled Tangible. Tangible.
Awesome, excellent job. A service, on the other hand, is something we pay someone else to do for us. We enjoy the service, but we can't touch it. It is intangible.
Or abstract.
All right. For example, when your mom or dad takes you to the doctor, or your mom pays for the doctor fee or for the service after he or she takes care of you. You can't touch or feel the service that the doctor provides, so it is intangible. Intangible is the opposite of tangible. So, goods are
tangible
and services are
intangible.
I hope everyone out there got that loud and clear. Alright, you're very correct. Remember, everything that we buy or pay for is either a good or a service. Perfect. So the next time you or your friends or your parents buy something, ask yourself, was that a good or was that a service? If you can touch or feel it, then it's a good. If you can't, then we know it's intangible, so it is a service. Okay? So now, Ajane, it's call in time. So let's hear from our listeners. I hope they were listening because we shared some really good information. And for those of you who are watching on Van Radio's Facebook page or YouTube channel, you're actually seeing the words coming up. You're seeing the spelling for tangible. You're seeing the spelling for intangible. You're seeing services. You're seeing goods. So I'm hoping that you're following us, because it's time for us to get some answers from you. Our first question: what is a good? And of course, you can call us. Remember, you can call us at 469-1616, 469-170 for a chance to win some fun prizes, compliments, the ECCB. And of course, you will have to collect your prize at the Department of Education. Fun prizes from the ECCB. And all you have to do is to be the first person to answer the question correctly. What is a good? What is a good? 469-1616, 469-1700. Anybody out there knows what is a good? Not what is good, but what is a good? especially since we've been talking about goods and services today, we want to know what is a good. I'm hoping everybody's muscles are not sore from running and so they're sleeping. Good morning! Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Wonderful. Do you know you're good? So I'm hoping you're so good that you know what a good is. Tell us, what is a good?
A good is what people make or sell.
Go to sell. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. What's your name?
Malika does.
Okay, Malika, your mommy or daddy would have to stop by the Department of Education to collect your prize compliments, the ECCB, okay? You are very correct. So you are good and you know what a good is. So you are on the roll today. How was your sports meet, Malika?
It was good.
Okay, I love this word. We're just playing on good today. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. All right. So that was Malika Dalton, and she won the first prize. What is a good? We're moving on. What is a service? I'm hoping the next person I called, when I ask how are you, they don't say I'm service. All right. But what is a service? 469-1616, 469-1700. What is a service? And Majority, of course, as I think about services and goods. Oh, we have a caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Wonderful. All right, can you tell us what is a service?
Yeah. A good is something
A service.
that is made or grown.
Okay, so you're a little bit behind. We already got that answer. We're trying to find what is a service.
Oh, a service.
Yes.
A service is a job. A service is a job people do for others.
Wonderful. Perfect. Your name is?
Kijari Huggins.
All right, Kijari, congratulations. You can collect your prize at the Department of Education. Compliments the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. Okay, anytime during the course of the week between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Have a great week.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we know what a good is. Obviously, we know what a service is. Now, we're asking our listeners to call in and let us know 3 examples of goods. Not 1, not 2, but 3 examples of goods. Numbers to call: 469-1616, 469-1700. Can anybody out there give us 3 examples of goods? And of course, once again, the prizes are compliments the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank and can be collected at the Department of Education between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Name 3 examples of goods. And while we are waiting for a listener or caller, we would like to listen to the ECCB jingle until we have a caller coming in to tell us 3 examples of goods. so much to the wonderful children of the ECCB after school program. Of course, when we hear the jingle, I just have to throw in from time to time that it was written by Dawn Mills, and she's a corporate relations officer at ECCB, and once again performed by students who are enrolled in the ECCB after school program. And just before that, we were trying to get three examples of goods. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you.
All right, do you know 3 examples of goods?
They are books, water, and food.
All right. Can you go to the store and buy water? Do you know the name of any of the bottles of water that you can buy? No, this is not part of the quiz. This is just me asking you questions. Can you think of one?
Nelson Spring.
Nelson Spring water. Okay, good job. And what's your name?
My name is Zahnela Jones.
All right, Janaya. And you can collect your prize someone can collect your prize at the Department of Education between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m., okay?
Okay.
You have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we got goods, we got services, we had some really good examples of goods, and then I put Janai on the spot and she was able to roll with me. We need somebody else to tell us 3 examples of services. 1, 2, 3 examples of services. Janaya said food, water, and books. And I'm hoping that she has a lot of books, a lot of food, a lot of water, because some of those are really part of the needs column as well. Right? Wonderful. So, 3 examples of services. Numbers to call: 469-1616, 469-1700. Ajane, are you enjoying our goods and services lesson? We do this in school from time. I think it's about every school year. It's part of the social studies lesson for most of our grades, and so I know that our students are not going to have a difficult time. The only worry for me is that people are still sleeping because of sports, but I think it's late enough in the morning, so we hope that we can hear 3 examples of services. 469-1616, 469-1700. We're going to bring in the jingle just one more time and allow them to get their thoughts together and write down their 1, 2, 3, and then we'll come back and hopefully we have someone just before we go over into our values lesson segment.
Connecting our children of our EC region with good information and excellent mentoring. They started us early and making it easy to manage our money and make a real living. They're linking the children with excellent mentoring.
Awesome. So, our question on the table. Of course, that jingle was is the jingle for the ECCB Children's Connection, and the ECCB's Children Connection is heard all throughout the region. We have them on each island. We have different shows happening, sharing the same content, and so our children right here on Nevis are getting a great opportunity. And we want to know if you can give us 3 examples of services. And if we have to wait a little while longer, we're just going to transition over into our values lesson, and if that person calls, we can always fit them in somewhere along the line. Okay, Ajane? So let's go. Values. So, I want to thank all the persons who have called so far. You are certainly stellar, you're stars, and you did an excellent job. You were great listeners, and we are so happy that you were able to learn the difference between a good and a service. Don't forget to talk to your friends and your family about what you learned today. Let's go over to our wise word of the week with my favorite friend, Oliver.
Hi there, boys and girls. It's Oliver. Your friendly owl is back with another wise word for today. This time, our word is self-confidence. Having confidence in yourself. A feeling of trust in your abilities. Alrighty then, time to get back to your host.
Thank you so much, Oliver, for coming in and sharing our wise word of the week, which is... Jenny, what's the wise word?
Self-confidence.
Self-confidence! And so, self-confidence is one of my favorite words too. It's very important, especially for children, right? It's an important characteristic that we should all have. Self-confidence is how you feel about your skills and your abilities. You can have low self-confidence or high self-confidence. So, Jenny, tell me a little bit about some of the games you like to play.
I have this one game that's from an app that I like named Coco Play, and it's the gymnast game and the cheerleader game. It's all about them getting dressed up and ready to go in front of this huge crowd and perform.
So, in playing that game, how do you feel about the confidence, and how does confidence come out, self-confidence come out?
Well, it's not just how I play the game and how I feel during the game. It's like I have a connection with the game because I go in front of crowds and I do public speaking at times. So it just boosts me up and makes me, as you said, self-confidence, more confident when I'm doing public speaking. And when I heard this word, the first thing that came to my mind was the first health and wellness lesson I had in grade 6, which was self-esteem and self-efficacy.
Self-esteem and self-efficacy. And let me tell you, I realize that every time we do a Children's Connection program, you're able to make a reference to one of your lessons, one of your health and wellness lessons. I'm sure that Miss Carrie is so proud listening to you this morning that she's saying, oh, she's actually learning. But great job and great example. It sounds so exciting. But do you think you're good at playing that game?
I don't think I'm good. I know I'm good.
Okay, so we see the self-confidence coming out. Okay, and if you believe that you are, tell me the name of the game again. Let me get it right.
Gymnast game.
The
Coco
gymnast game
by Coco Play and cheerleading.
Okay, my goodness. I mean, what happened to rounders and the gymnast game by Coco Play? And, oh gosh, this is a lot. Okay, so if you believe that you're good at playing that game, then you have high self-confidence because you believe in your ability to play it. If you have low self-confidence about something, then you doubt yourself, and chances are you may not perform well. For example, if you keep saying to yourself that you're not good at taking tests at school, then you may not do well when your teacher gives you a test. It's all up here. It's in your mind. Self-confidence starts right here in your mind. And so if you have studied and you tell yourself that you are ready and you're going to ace that test, you're more likely to pass it with flying colors. When you feel secure and confident about your abilities, you're more likely to succeed. I want to stick a pin in it right here to say that lots of times we're able to be confident about our abilities to do something when we have prepared. So if you haven't studied and you haven't done the work and you go in and you're like, I can do this, and you have no idea what's going on, you might not do too badly, but you won't be at the best because self-confidence has to be matched with preparation in these instances.
Well, here's a trick for y'all who think studying is kind of boring. To me, it's kind of boring. What I do...
Studying is boring.
What I do is when teacher has work on the board, instead of looking at every word, I read, memorize, write, and I would ask questions, ask teacher, what does this mean? She'd tell me use my dictionary and look up the meaning and put it in brackets, so when I'm studying it's easier for me.
So basically you're preparing on the spot.
Yeah.
That's smart. So those who don't like to study, pay attention.
doing
class?
it after.
Instead of doing it solely after. That's a good trick. I mean, you're getting so many tips from our co-host here on the ECCB Children's Connection this morning on how to boost your self-confidence and your self-efficacy. What's the third one? Self-confidence, self-efficacy, and
Self-esteem.
All right. So we're getting lots of extra additional bonus tips here this morning on the ECCB's Children's Connection. Once again, we learned so much this morning, Ajerne. We learned about goods. We learned about services. We recapped wants. We recapped needs. We spoke about some of the goods that we have access to, some of the services that we have access to, and then we had our wise word of the day, of the week, and until we meet again, which was what again? What was our wise word?
Self-confidence.
Self-confidence. Okay, so those of you out there who need a little bit of a boost with self-confidence, preparation, plus telling yourself that you can do it will help to boost your self-confidence in everything that you do. And it's important for our children to believe in themselves, to have confidence, and feel and know that they can do well. Even in the past few weeks when we've had these sports meets, many of you have had to have self-confidence, and those who won the race in many instances were those who were confident, I'm going to win this race, and those who are a little bit shy pulled just before they got to the finish line, they pulled back. And so we don't want that in life. In our life, our race of life, we want you to go forth and do well all throughout. And so we have come to the end of another ECCB's Children's Connection, and we are so happy that you could join us today. We learned about, as I said, the difference between goods and services and the various types of services we enjoy in our communities. We also learned about self-confidence. And so, Ajane, until we meet again, I am your host, Zahnela Claxton, and
I am your co-host, Ajane Hodge.
Talk to you soon. But until then, have confidence in yourselves and stay connected.
Connecting the children of our EC region with good information and excellent mentoring. They started us early and making it easy to manage our money and make a real living. They're linking the children with excellent mentoring.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know, we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's youth on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather round. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling needs for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning.